You doing? I didn't even put our opening video on. Hello, everybody. We're so sorry we're late. We are having some technical difficulties. Yay. Okay, good. Spirit Song says she's here now, so we can start. We were having trouble getting Rev's video up, and we're trying to get that for you. We're not sure what happened. Restream has done some updates and some things, so we're not sure what's going on. But I tell you what, we sure appreciate all of you who are here with us and your patience and your understanding. We do want to make an announcement that last our meeting for this show was a mandatory meeting, and Dana didn't make it, so we had to fire him. I'm really sorry. I know a lot of you really liked him, but we have rules, with this Bridgewalkers thing where, if it's a mandatory meeting, you have to be there. And even though Dana is in the hospital, that's no excuse. We don't accept that as an excuse. That's not acceptable. So we have fired him. He's no longer with us.
Michelle,
You know what?
he's
I
so
can't,
cute
I
and
know.
cuddly
I
and
can't
he's
do it.
sparkly.
I can't
He's
do it. I can't do it. I just, you know what? He's so smart and he's so smart. He brings so much to the show. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Should we keep him?
yes. We should bring him on.
Should we? What
Yes.
do you guys in the chat think? Do you think I should rehire Dana? Maybe I should give him a raise. I might need to give him a raise because he might not even want to come back. He might not even want to come back. Yeah,
Give
Kevin is saying give him another chance.
give him another chance.
What do you guys think? Bring him on. Margie says bring him on. I think I agree with you. He's so fun and he's so smart and he's so deeply spiritual. And what would we do without his songs at the end of the show? So we will rehire him. So I'm gonna only if he sings. Kevin says only if he sings, only if he sings. And I think that you guys are right. I think that that's good. So we're going to open with our prayer, and in that prayer, we will be inviting Dana to come back. And when we get done with our prayer, let's hope that he's there and ready to join us again. I want all of you guys to really pray this with me. I speak these words, I speak them for you. Let's pray Dana back with us. So I'll take a nice deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. And let's just say, beloved presence of eternal love, I am. Be here with us now. And we claim the eternal loving presence within us. I claim my remembering of who I truly am. And as I claim that for every one of you watching now, watching later. I claim that for us. We are one. And I have to say, I am love. And at the core of my essence, at the deepest part of the divine creation within me, within us, I am love. We are all love. We are all eternal and limitless and beautiful and powerful and oh so very valuable. We are love. I am love. And love is all that there is. And I just speak deep within my heart, thank you that I remember for me. And when I remember for you, I remember for all of us. We remember for the all. Thank you. Thank you for the remembering. And in this remembering, we remember for all of life that we are love. At the deepest part of the core of who we are love. That spark that animates us into life is love. And I remember who you are too. We are all pure love. And we claim that now. We are all the eternal flow of joy and love that is everything. God created in love. And God is everywhere present. God is within us. And however you understand God, whatever words you use, I invite each of you to feel that within your heart Feel that within Dana's heart that he's willing to come back. And we just say, thank you, thank you, thank you for the love that always is. And when it's right, we just say, so be it, so it is, and amen. And when you all open your eyes, let's just know that Dana's here with us. And we'll just, he's here. Yay! Thank you. Thank you for coming back, Dana. I'm so sorry I fired you. Even though it was a mandatory meeting. I mean, come on.
Rules are rules.
Rules, man. in this big corporate thing called Bridgewalkers, right?
Aw.
And we want to thank everybody for being patient with us. We had Restream has made some changes and we were having trouble getting Rev's video up, and so we weren't be able to do it. And he's trying nothing but love. You're right, Margie. That's what it all is. Oh, yes. Yes.
Is it on?
You know what? Yes. Praise Jesus. Yes, it is. Hey, everybody. We got the video up. See what happens when you pray a little bit. I'm going to bring that on. I'm going to drop the rest of us off and let's do this. Thanks for coming back, Dana.
No place. Hello, sacred ones. Thank you, Skyfuls, for being with us here on Bridgewalkers. This Bridgewalkers is entitled Accessing the Love Within You. I am on our land, next to our back deck of oneness. I've had many mystical experiences on our land and on our back deck. High visitations and in many forms, and so much communications from all that is connects here. As Michele pointed out, this land here is a bridge to the mystical more, a high energy place to share this mystical tale with you that comes from the Tucano tribe of Colombia and Brazil. Do you realize how amazing you are? How cosmic you are? Do you understand how precious you are? You are a gift to creation. Since you are connected to all that is, you have unlimited connections to the divine love within you that connects to the divine love beyond you. The divine love that Rev calls pure love is within you, cultivating our heart thoughts, our mind thoughts, which impacts our inner essence, all wrapped in love. May this delightful story touch you, engage you, and teach you. You came here to Earth for cosmic reasons. This tale is your tale, or could be your tale. Here is the tale of a holy bird guiding a young boy how to live each day in the sacred ways. In the dense verdant heart of the Amazon rainforest, where the trees whispered secrets older than time, there lived a boy named Nera, a member of the Tucano tribe. Nera was known for his curious spirit and a heart that yearned for the deeper truths of life. He knew there was more within him and beyond. Have you ever known anyone like that? Maybe you. His best friend was a sacred blue parrot, Kea. They said she descended from the center of the sky. Her feathers a tapestry of the night sky, studded with stars. Kea was no ordinary parrot. She possessed ancient wisdom and was believed to be a guardian spirit sent to guide Nera on a journey of heart awakening and engaging his inner essence. The elders of the Tucano tribe spoke of an ancient prophecy that a young boy guided by a celestial parrot would embark on a quest that would bring a new era of freedom and joy to humanity. One mystical night, under a canopy of shimmering stars, Nera and Kea set out on their adventure. Their journey was to traverse the unseen paths of the heart and the mind, to unlock the secrets of authentic living and ignite his dense, verdant inner essence. As they journeyed deeper into the rainforest, Kea and Nera encountered various spirits of the earth. The whispering winds, the dancing rivers, and the wise old trees, and the ever-teaching truths of Mama Earth. Each of these spirits imparted lessons of life, teaching Nera about the interconnectedness of all beings, the importance of harmony with nature, and the power of a free and open mind. In the heart of the forest, they found a hidden valley, bathed in a celestial light. Here, Kea revealed her true form, a magnificent spirit bird, her feathers glowing with an ethereal light. Her ascending master energies were coming forth. She spoke to Nera of the ancient wisdom of the sky, teaching him that true freedom comes from within, from a heart unburdened by fear and a mind unshackled by limiting beliefs wrapped in pure love. Nera learned that the essence of life was not a destination, but a very sacred, luminous journey, a continuous exploration of the self and the world around. Kea taught him the importance of gratitude, the joy of living in the present, and the beauty of embracing one's true, authentic self. With each lesson, Nera felt his heart opening. Like a lotus blossoming in the sun, he began to see the world with new eyes, understanding the preciousness of life and the magic that lies in every moment. Something so beautiful was being released within him. He was learning to flow in the mystical energies of all that is. It was always within him, waiting to be found and open into to bloom. When they returned to the tribe, Nera was transformed. He shared the teachings of Kea with his people, spreading the wisdom of heart, awakening and joining this with an awakened mind. He taught them that true living lies in freedom of the mind and living harmoniously with nature, and in the joy of discovering one's true purpose wrapped in pure love. Nera and Kea continued their adventures, exploring the mysteries of the heart and the mind and the wonders of the earth. Their journey became a legend, a tale of a boy and a sacred blue parrot from the center of the sky who together unlocked the secrets of pure love and brought a new dawn of freedom and joy to oneness, to humanity. Cosmic and gift and joy, and be super encouraged by this Bridgewalker program. Michele always has her wonderful wisdom to share, and Dana Sparkle has a song and the deep more for you, and Rev will be in these delightful blend of energies somewhere. Yeparu, you are a sacred gift with a divine purpose and meaning. We are so glad you are here to go sacred bridge walking with us. Beautiful blessings to you from here on our cosmic bridge to all that is.
Wow. That was amazing. I love that with the clouds. It's like you were in heaven, and then the little rain coming down, like the manna of heaven, the wisdom of the heavenly realms. Wow. And Rev, the wisdom that flows from you is just wow. Thank you.
You're
That was
welcome.
really beautiful. That was so beautiful. Wow.
That's when you're out on the land like that, where we live here on the hill, it energizes you. The trees energize you. The Earth Mother and her children energize you. And the sky people. And those stories are very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And one has to decide how powerful that is within them, where they go with inside of them. How power, because we're all called when we come to say yes to come here. We're all called to be that. We're here on a sacred journey, and no one that I ever remembered said it's easy. We're here. We're here. We are so blessed, and I want to start crying that Dana's still here with us, because he's very sacred to lots of us, and with him just being on the screen here on Thanksgiving week, there's much to give thanks. And the self love that I've been shown by cosmic entities, spiritual entities, how important that is, makes me love others even more. Like you, Michelle, Sparkles, and those that are here, and those who will watch this days from now, weeks from now, months from now, that the love will come through. We're very powerful beings, as I said in the video. We're amazing. We're cosmic as we zip around. And when we start to learn who we are and really love ourselves, um, somebody once said, first commandment, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second one, love yourself. If you can't love yourself, can you truly love others in pure love? I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a journey of recognizing the self without the egoic thing. That's part of what I think a lot of us struggle with is that that okay, so I'm God, and then the ego jumps in and goes, "Yes, I am." Right? And it's so funny, and that next phase of the recognition is to allow yourself to be that purity of that God spark that's within. And I use the word God, understanding that we all have different words that we use and we all have different concepts of what that is, but it's all good. It all counts. It all matters. And however you experience it, and I've been finding myself experiencing this God spark so deep in my heart. It's almost like it's within me, but it's almost like as big as space is out there, the space within me is that big as well. And that's where I find that God. And when I allow my mind and when I allow my wanderings of my spiritual self to move into that God space, it's huge and it's powerful and it's ever growing, it's ever expanding. And you can't put words to it either. As part of, they talk about the great mystery, right? The mystery is expanded out, but it's within as well. The great mystery is here. And oh my gosh, your video is so good. And this is what we're here to talk about is accessing that love within. You know, we are loving beings created in love. That's what we are. And I really feel like, you know, this time that we all decided to come here, you know, we knew that this was going to be a mission, right? Like the Blues Brothers say, we're on a mission from God. And we're here. And all of you that are here and all of you that watch this video, whenever it is, you're drawn here because there's something within you that knows that you're on that mission and that knows that we're all in this together, right? So important that we understand that we're not alone, that we are all one. And we hope that Bridgewalkers is a place that you all can find a place where you can connect with other journeyers and other those of us that are on that mission in whatever way it expresses itself. And we're honored that you're here. And I had an experience that I wanted to share with you guys. This is one of the ways that I experienced the knowing of God in me, because what you know within you is experienced in the outer. And I've been asking for that. I've been asking, you know, dear God, Jesus, universal mind source, the all that is, cosmic intelligence. I use all the words. Show me how much you love me. Let me feel you within me, but allow it to express outside of me, that I can see how much I am loved, that I can experience the power that you are within me. And the other day I had this amazing, or evening, I had this wonderful dream and I wanted to share it with you guys. And so the dream was I was in my house, but it wasn't my home that I usually live in, but I knew it was my house. And there was arguing going on outside. There was fighting going on outside, and it seemed to start, you know, getting kind of scary, and people were yelling, and I could tell it was something serious. And so I was cleaning or locking up the house. I was closing the windows. I was pulling the drapes. I was locking the door. And I was feeling like this energy, like this is it. This is the final. And I had the word even war. It's like, this is the final war. This is it. We're in it. And so I got all the house locked down. And all of a sudden, this man came walking through the wall, and he's dressed it like a hunter, right? He's got the hunting vest, he's got the pants with the pockets, and he's carrying this big old rifle. And the old kind I know my grandpa used to have, that was like a kind of rifle, And I wasn't scared, but I could feel the power, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no, this is it. Either I'm leaving the planet, or something big is happening." And the man was not facing me, but all of a sudden I heard him say, um, "It's time, and this is it." And um, he was saying that it's time to understand who you are as a God being, and it's time for you to put on the full armor of God and begin to pray, because prayer is what is going to change these things. And I remember feeling like prayer, however you understand that, right? He wasn't saying you got to pray this way or you got to pray that way, but he says prayer is going to change things now. But you have to put on that full armor of God. And then I heard him say, and go and tell the people. And then he turned it, looked at me, and he had these brilliant blue eyes. And when I see those eyes, I know that that is the presence of Archangel Michael. I know that that great, powerful being was coming to bring a message. And he was serious. And it was, this is it. We are in this time that we all came to be here. And we're not fighting a foe out there. We are recognizing who we are in here. The great revelation, right? The great revelation of who we truly are. And so what stuck in my mind is he was saying to put on the full armor of God. And I remember hearing about that in church, full armor of God. It's in the Bible. And so I wanted to share with you this what this is about, what it says in Ephesians, and my take on what it really means in kind of the way we all think, not sticking with the Bible interpretation, but a more metaphysical, broader sense. And so I wanted to share with you, but I wanted to share with you what Ephesians says. So I'm going Bible on you guys. Ephesians 6 chapters 11 through 13, and it says, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done it, to stand. And then it goes on to say, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. And so I looked up and it's like, what is this whole armor of God? And so the armor of God is the helmet of salvation, which is live a good life, be honorable, be kind, be honest, do right, watch your thoughts, be mindful of what you're thinking, be mindful of what you're feeding your mind, right? With your eyes, with your ears, with everything that's around you. Who are you around you? Who are you associating with? What are you watching on TV? What is the music that you're listening to? It's guard your thoughts. And it says, keep them good, keep them positive, keep them holy. Okay. And then the second one is the shield of faith. It says, understand that there is a greater power within each of us that has strength and authority. And we seek this in our studies, in our classes, through prayer and meditation, mindfulness, and seeking God that is within. This will protect you. Okay, so the shield of faith, you're knowing and understanding that this God within, this spark of love within you, is a shield. It is your power and it is your authority against the darkness. I mean, we got to admit there's a little negativity going on in the world. And then the next one is the breastplate of righteousness. And for some reason, this really, I felt this one, the breastplate. And the breastplate of righteousness is love. It's all about the heart and what is happening in the heart. And it says that breastplate covers the heart and keeps it safe. See and feel through love and feel its mighty power. Let go of the egoic ways and be one with this holiness. I am love. I am. And so that breastplate and also love is also saying no to the things that hurt your heart. And sometimes it's even people. And it's hard, but in this time when we're being asked to put on this full armor of God, sometimes we have to distance ourselves from people who are very hurtful and that take our mind away into unholy thoughts. I know I'm stumbling even over using the biblical terms because but these are good teachings, right? These are good teachings. The fourth one is the belt of truth, and it says, "Be true in thought, word, and deed." The belt wraps around the body and it holds all of the armor pieces in place. So all these pieces that we're talking about, the belt holds it in place. It's be true in thought, word, and deed. Have integrity. Your word is gold. There used to being saying a man is only as good as his word. And we've fallen so much away from that, right? So the belt of truth, integrity. And then we have the sword of the spirit. And the sword of the spirit is prayer. It's what you say. Every word is a prayer, right? Prayer changes things. Identifying the holy presence within and seeing it in all of creation gives you the power to create because you begin to resonate with all of creation, with all of life, with all that is. It gives you authority that your faith in the unseen power of something greater that is within you, which is love, is the creator creating through you, right? It's recognizing that prayer, your words, your thoughts create. That's the sword of spirit. And then the last one is the boots of peace. And it's also called the gospel of peace. And it's understanding that peace and love is the only power that is truth. It is the most powerful. It is of the highest frequency. We're all really beginning to understand how important frequency is, right? And therefore is the stand to take in all situations. Everything, everyone is another you. We're all one. What we do to others, we do to ourselves. And what we do to ourselves, we do to others. And we must honor what is within us, what creates us, what animates us. And we've been saying on the show, love yourself because that's where God is, right? It's where God is. And so thank you for letting me share this. This is something that has been transformational for me just in the last couple of weeks, where it's this truth, and I've shied away from the Bible for a long time. And I'm kind of being pulled back a little bit with spirit to some of these wonderful, wonderful teachings. So thank you for letting me thump my Bible on you guys. Um, and so I hope that you take that in and think on that and feel what that is. Mindfulness is the full armor of God. That's right, Kevin. It really is. We have to be in that space. And this being that came through said, put on the full armor of God. Pray.
I wanted to share something that just happened since you've been sharing that, Michele. I know many entities have taught Rev
Mm.
how important it is to love yourself. And that's pure love, unconditional love. And it takes a lot of constant releasing, cleansing. And a group of men took me up to Michigan for a sacred 3 or 4 days. And every time this group of men get together, mystical things happen, always. I mean, angels come, they've sat down with us, and have had conversations with us down in Alabama. But we were up in Michigan. I think there's holy people that live there, like Dana Sparkles or somebody like that. And the first time I saw this gentleman, he was in his 80s. He was a little Franciscan monk that wore the yarmulkes, the little skull cap, and had a cane. And it was like Rev. And as soon as we saw one another, our energies went zzz. They really did. And the next day, I went to talk to Father Tom. Okay. And I've never thought of it quite like this till you were just speaking of the armor of God. And we were in this little teeny room that had two nice chairs and a little teeny table between them. So our knees were touching. And he would reach out and touch me when he was speaking. And this energy was going zzz, energizing my body, my cells. Then he touched his heart. And I've shared this part, but not the second part. And he says, I'm preparing to die. You need to prepare to die. And then he touched me again, and something was passed on every time he touched me. And I had a very good friend who went up 2 weeks later, and Father Tom had already died, had the funeral, and had been buried. Okay. A year and a half later, I had my near-death experience, which would be in like 8 more days in 2018. But I thought about that in love. We got our will ready, all of that stuff. You know, some people thought I was nuts and crazy. But when you're that charged with that kind of energy, and he did something because he was a teacher. I've been a teacher of pure love for 36 years up before my near-death experience, and 35 years before I met Father Tom. But during my journeys on my near-death experience, he was up on the bridge, Father Tom, smiling at me. And he still comes to me every once in a while, his energies. And I was so moved and touched when you were talking. It's like he passed something on to me, not just a message, something cosmic, something incredible. And I got to put my energies around it while you were talking. And it was just, I was totally blown away. So thank you for letting me. It's very powerful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's so wonderful. You know, we do. We our energies mix all the time. You know, and wow, how beautiful to sit with that monk. That's amazing. Ooh, we live in an awesome world, don't we? We live in an awesome world, and we are awesome. Awesome. I've had people tell me, Michelle, quit using awesome. I'm sorry. Everything's so awesome. Give me another word. I'll use it. Until then, awesome's it.
But before Sparkles comes on, since he's been rehired, I came across this quote, and it came out of Conscious Magazine online from Manny Renner, and she wrote, quote, I soon realized the thoughts that occupied valuable space in my mind were not in alignment with affirmations such as I love myself, end of quote. Very powerful. We have that choice. We have the power within us to choose what we see, what we hear. We have that to love ourselves, because we let all these other energies get in here, get in our heart, and we get all discombobulated. And it becomes really hard to love ourselves, no matter what we've done.
Yeah.
And if we're divine fragments, divine cells, how many people say it, and if the creator and the divine source is the pure love, it makes absolutely sense, right? In higher ways,
Yeah.
to love ourselves.
Yeah.
Any other way is we put the cosmos out of balance when we don't.
Yeah. That's why being mindful of our thoughts. Something that I've been doing and using a lot lately, the last 3 or 4 months actually, is I've started doing a lot of coloring, and I actually have started designing coloring books. And I had this huge blossoming thing. And what I'm finding is when you're coloring, you move into kind of that meditative state where your kind of subconscious mind kind of starts working. And it's so beautiful to be coloring something beautiful, flower, maybe fairies. I love fairies. I have a whole coloring book just on fairies. To do that. And I've been finding that thoughts will come up like, you're really stupid when you did that. What? What did I do? Now, I could be coloring and just kind of let that up and let that kind of pass through. But what's so powerful is being mindful and addressing that thought. What is this thought? Why are you saying that? Well, remember when you did blah blah blah? Yeah. That was really stupid. Thank you for reminding me of that. You know what? I forgive myself for that now. I forgive everyone involved. I forgive myself. I'm going to hold that as sacred, a sacred experience that I had. I'm going to hold that in my heart, and I'm going to let the love of my heart dissolve all the negativity around that. Oh, I'm getting chills. Dissolve all the negativity around that and let it just become a beautiful, shining light, another presence of God within me by doing that. And I have had massive transformations just in the last couple of months with finding that love within by being mindful of those things. And that's what I'm using coloring, mandalas, all kinds of stuff, um, as a way for that to come up and to get into that kind of meditative state and to allow these thoughts and stuff to come up. And some of them are kind of nasty. Some of them are really mean, right? And they're roaming around in there. They're in the cells, they're in your memory, they're in your nervous system. It's so much the center of disease, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. Disease are these emotions, these thought forms that are trapped in us. And it's time for us to free ourselves from that. And being mindful is so important. Like Kevin says, mindfulness is the full armor of God. And it's so beautiful. Margie is saying 40 years of weaving the thread of light and love with you, Rev, has been one of the best journeys I've ever had. I'm going to show that. Let's take a look at that. What a
Beautiful.
beautiful saying.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Margie.
Thank you, Margie.
Yeah.
Coloring for shadow work. That's very well said. Because
Mm.
colors, there's densities in colors, and
Yes.
and every color you choose, you're relating with that density, and you're letting it choose you. You're working with it and saying,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna use you in the way that you need to be, for this spiritual advancement. That that this journey, that's what we're here for. We're here to anchor that goodness in.
Yeah. To transform all those programmings, all of that. And mindfulness is a huge part. We have to know what it is before we can love it back into its original form, which is love and that beautiful spark. And it's so wonderful because I'm starting to use this with my clients and stuff too, and I'm seeing transformation, and it's not like you have to process it forever. Now it's just love it. It's like, yeah, that was crappy. Or I had one come up. I'm not even going to tell you what it was because I did something really crappy to someone else. And it was like, remember when you did that? And I was like, yeah. And here's the what came through. It's like, you're really a shit head. And I was like, yeah, I was. I was. And I'm like going, oh my gosh. So I said, I'm sorry. I used the Ho'oponopono, and the other person that was involved. I did just Ho'oponopono, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And, releasing that. And then I took that experience. I even took that person that was involved and brought him into my heart and just, I love you. And just allow that to dissolve and move away. And it's really interesting because all of a sudden I took this really strange breath. It was like, and it was gone. Now it might sneak in a little bit more. Sometimes we have to do it more than once. But it's so beautiful. We have to love ourselves back to ourselves.
Can I share another quote?
Yeah.
This is from the great spiritual teacher, Lucille Ball.
Yes, I love her.
She said, love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. End of quote.
Wow. That was another one. We were talking earlier, our meeting before the show. We are talking earlier about people that have been so wise. And she was one of them. Well, we weren't talking about her. We're talking about others, but Lucille Ball is another one of those great wise teachers that just kind of came in and was a goofy lady and did her silliness and made us all laugh, and yet her wisdom continues with us to this day. To this day. Wow.
Sacred humor is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important.
Sacred sarcasm can be too. We have to be careful. Every word is a prayer. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you for sitting with us in this. We so appreciate all of you that are here. And you know what, Rev, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about when you love yourself too, how people around you begin to kind of come to you in different ways, different kinds of people. And you had shared with me someone that you had an encounter with. Do you remember what that was? It was such a great story.
I've had many of them where people are mean to me. It was somebody like that.
I don't remember what it was.
I could write a small book on how a lot of people, pure love, wherever I've gone, has not really been accepted. And I'll just say that when I was very involved in the university, helping people, trying to make equality back in the 80s and 90s, which wasn't a popular thing to do, but so many people have been got in my face and yelled. And the one became the head of the plumbing shop. And when I'd go over to get supplies, I managed graduate international housing for many years at the university, people from all over the world. And I'd go over to what we call physical facilities and get supplies. If I needed something, then wait for the truck. We'd order and they'd bring it to us. I'd go over there. Every time this guy would make fun of me. He made sure there was a crowd and make fun of me. This went on 12 years, 15 years. And he was a biker guy. He had the, what do you call it, the handlebar mustache. Weight, I used to lift weights at one time. Weightlifting guy, pretty good sized guy, and I just loved him. He brought a lot of tears when I drive back to the manor because of the hurtful things that he would say, because he didn't know Rev. He was just acting. And to see people in their true authenticity under all of that comes from loving yourself, and you project that. And these were the things that I saw, like with him. And I was told their door will open someday. And his stepfather, who had raised him, who he loved and honored, passed away. And the Spirit said, this is it. This is a sacred moment. And I used it, and I sent him a loving card. And, like many guys, they don't ask for forgiveness, but they show it in their own different way. He would come and he came down, and from that moment on, he would see me in the store. He'd come and hug me. And if I didn't send out good vibes when all that happened for 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, send out those good vibes, because that attracts other higher entities and energies to help you and assist you, like Father Tom. And it was a beautiful, beautiful story. I haven't seen Howard in several years, but it's people like that that stirred something within me. Yeah, I hurt. I had to go through that to grow. The pain in here, the pain in the heart. I had to go through all that to grow and to expand and to become what I said yes to come down here. That I had to go through these things. And it's always been the pure love. The pure love.
Wow. And you do, wow. Because we do. I mean, all of us that are here, every single one of you are here because you've passed through many, many gates. You've gone through many initiations. It's this place is not for wusses. This is not a wuss journey.
Mm-mm.
This is for the masters. And Rev, when you were talking about that, it brought to mind a young man that I ran into the other day. And I've been really doing a lot of transformation in the last few months and even just last few weeks. And with the whole Archangel Michael thing, it's really brought me deeper and deeper into this love. And I can feel the frequency around. It's like many things are starting to shift in just being in this loving space. And I have my groceries delivered. Awesome. And this young man delivered my groceries and brought them in, and when we got done, he was kind of chatting a little bit, and he's kind of looking around. He's like, "Well, you got crystals and blah blah blah, and what do you do?" And I have all my painting and all my arts like right in the middle of the kitchen. And he's like, "Oh, you're an artist," and he all of a sudden he looked at me and he said, "I don't know what it is, but I don't want to leave this house." And then he goes, "My life is really hard right now."
Mm.
I went, "Oh, honey, what's going on?" And he told me a little bit about what was happening, and all of a sudden I just got this word within me, and I said, "You know what? Everything's going to be okay." And he goes, "I try, I pray." I said, "You keep praying because that prayer is protecting you, and I'll pray for you too. And I know people who pray for a living, and I'll put the word out for you too." That you need prayer, you need the protection, you need the guidance, you need spirit. And it was so weird because this young man that kind of was walking a little bit slumped, all of a sudden he stood up straighter, his shoulders got straighter, his energy around him, oh, I'm getting chills, started to brighten up, and he goes, "Thank you, I really needed that." And he kind of walked a little bit more towards the door, and he was like, "I just don't want to leave this place." And I said, "It's because you're recognizing yourself." And I said, "And this isn't outside of you, this is what's inside of you. You couldn't be here if this love and this acceptance and this frequency wasn't already inside of you. You wouldn't be able to be here. It's inside of you. So feel it and then take it in your heart. I feel it there." And then he walked to like just at the door, and he stood there for another minute. It was so cute. And then he stepped outside the door and he just looked and he was like, "Wow, this is amazing." And he talked a little bit more, and I just kept saying, "Everything's going to be okay. You are prayed for, you are protected. Your prayers protect you. This is coming to an end. This isn't going to last much longer." And I could just feel spirit, just this boy needed these words and needed this. And by the time he walked away, he literally skipped down the walkway. It's like everything's going to be okay. And this is an example of not only when we feel love within us, what we can do for others, but that others come to us because they have that in them too. And they just need to be reminded, "Hey, I see you, right? It's in you. You would not be here if this was not already within you." And it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. In this world we live in, everybody has this inside of them. And when we look at what's happening in this world, there's part of me that's like, "Holy crap." But there's another part is every single one of these people, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, they all have this spark of life within them. Even the really evil, scary ones, the ones that we call the devil, all that is part of creation. We all have that inside of us. And when we love ourselves so much that we can see that in the others that are us, the other us, we can see the love in that too. We This love is going to sweep this world and change everything, and we're well on our way because we're look at all these people that are here right now.
The, I've seen pure love change those beings in front of my eyes, those dark beings. And I know Sparkles has something, but I wasn't going to share this, but I did share it with you, Michelle and Dana. Diane drove, and I was with her, and we went to the grocery store. And I just sat out in the vehicle, looking at people and looking up the sky, and she'd been in there a while, and I saw this lady. There was a cart rack here. We're to the right, and this lady was to the left, and she was in a scooter, one of the grocery store scooters. Okay, and some man was walking by, and this lady's probably in her early 70s, 65, 70, somewhere in there. Very attractive, very well dressed, and she had a bunch of bottles in a container that she could not lift out of the basket. So I was getting ready to get out, and hold on to the vehicle with my walking situation and help her. And a guy had just walked by who helped her and then moved the cart. And I said, "Do you need help to get into the driver's seat?" And at first she said, "Nah, you know how yeah, I can do this." Then she said, "No." She says, "I'm having a hard time walking." And I asked her, she has MS, and she could hardly put one foot in front of another with holding me. So we went from the shotgun side behind the vehicle and around to the front seat and helped her get in. She couldn't lift her legs up, and all her driving mechanisms are on the steering wheel because her feet and legs do not work. And then she said, "I'm discovering there's more to life than what the medical field is telling me."
Mm.
And she says, "I don't really know how to find it, but I know there's something's telling me there's more." She doesn't have Facebook. She does watch YouTube. And I said, "Do you know how wonderful you are? How incredible." I told her how we're flying around the university. The universe. I said, "Where we're at right now, we haven't been in 230, 235 million years." And her eyes started getting bigger. And I said, "You're amazing." She started crying. She said, "No one has ever told me that." I said, "You're so unique and wonderful, full of so much potential and talents, abilities, and gifts. Some's still going to come out. Do you see this MS as a teacher?" And she started crying again. She said, "Yes, I've learned so much through through this." And then we continued with this positive conversation, and she cried one more time. You could see these energies that had some of her head thoughts and heart thoughts trapped. I saw them leaving.
Mm.
And just having a loving conversation of how incredible, wonderful, unique that she is. Even though I said we're all connected to one another, but I said, "You're amazing." And I could see her, she would write things down that I was saying. But she was the sweetest thing. And after she left, I thought, I wonder if that was an angel.
Yeah,
I wonder if that was an angel.
yeah. She just needed reminded, right?
Correct.
Because there's a lot of angels here that are trapped in the matrix of human and have forgotten. That's one of the things that happens. It's like you're going back and you've mastered a lot, but when you get down there, you're going to forget who you are. You're going to forget what you know. You're going to forget your power, and you're going to have to learn to listen to the inner voice and that divine connection, that divine phone back to God, to be able to traverse this realm. And this is what we're talking about right now. Oh my gosh, that just popped into my head.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Sparkles, when I look at your face and our video chat that we had this morning, late morning, and what you shared, just, I almost started crying. I was so deeply moved and touched by you. Because most of the people out there, they don't have no idea what you've been through earlier in your life and what you've been through the last couple of weeks. But you are an amazing human being and man. So I know a lot of things that you've done with what has happened to you. And it's that I know you shouldn't be here. I've been told that by the watcher. You should not be here, but there you are. And I just want to tell you that I honor you and I respect you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Much love.
Yeah. That's why he insisted we rehire you.
After I filled out another application, of course.
Yes, I had to make sure that you still met all the criteria.
That was a gift from that guy. So he gets we'll rattle him back onto staff.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Aw,
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
I'd like to share just a little story. I got thrust out of my body bright and early. You know, I guess before I was 2 with 107 fever, and um, I called it a hallucination. I mean, it was just impressed in me that this experience had happened, and but it took a real long time uh, for it to unfold. And by high school, I was playing in astral realms. Um, you know, without even knowing it. You know, I mean, I would call them dreams because that didn't coordinate with, you know, the Christianity that had been, you know, embedded in me as well. And, but, you know, I mean, through Christianity, like, hey, I think, you know, I learned that, hey, that we make sacrifices for what we love, but they've got to be proper sacrifices. They're not, you know, they have to be for the right reasons, and or it's just it's not it's there's it's not so much honor oriented. It's more useful tool oriented, and like, you know, that's not necessarily our role. You know, we do need to experience being one. You know, to feel that the side at the end of things that we don't like. But all that does is just start making us ask questions on what we ought to like, you know, what we ought to be, what we ought to see. And it took decades to revisit the realms that I was in when I was less than 2, and there was no sun in this particular sky. It was a rainbow plasma, and but you could see the stars through the plasma, um, and it was really weird. But like, until I had revisited that realm on this separate occasion decades later, I was able to chalk it up as a hallucination because it was too much. You know, I was split between 2 physicals and then 2 spirituals. I was in 4 spaces at once. Eyeballing each, you know, each of my different things in different ways, and that just, it's like, oh my, you know, like how does that happen, you know, like, because in this physical, like, you look in the mirror there, that's the only extra self you get to see on the traditional side of things, you know. We get, you know, this physical density, it's on purpose. It's on purpose. And it compresses us. It compresses our spirit, and we are crystals in the making. You know, we could call them diamonds, we could call them, you know, whatever orientation that is, but like, those become broadcast beacons. They're not just diamonds that people want to wear around. they're broadcast beacons for the genetics to anchor this place into a reality. And there was this other experience where I was in this other realm, flying above. This was in a space where there were no people yet. People were not prepared to be here. They were not prepared to be there. They weren't ready. So I Christians could reference it as a heaven. But up in this space, they were there were just flowers upon flowers, fields upon fields of flowers and flowers, and each of them were radiating light. And the ones that were in their prime, that were in their full maturity, they were the loudest and the brightest. They were literally glowing and singing for the glory of their existence. There was no Jesus in this realm. There was no people had been there yet. But here's these flowers that are, supposedly, these inanimate things, like, we don't attach consciousness in flowers, but guess what? They got one. All of everything does. You can't get away from that. Doesn't matter what program has been pushed upon us. Truth will come out, and like that's what we're here to help it do, and usually it takes polarizing experiences to help propel that into this reality, and our choices, our heart choices, get to anchor that here, and watching flowers sing for the glory of their existence in their prime with so much light radiating out of them from the inside out. Oh my, if a flower can do that, so do you. We don't necessarily get to see this radiance coming off of ourselves, but I have had spirit visits where they were absolutely radiating in a specific frequency pattern that I can't forget. It's ingrained in my DNA. I could recognize it. And this one particular spirit that came to me in that way, he knew. He was so related with everything that even during an active battle, we have these little arguments, and they get us in this emotional turmoil. They get us in our wax space, and fear can take over. And if we don't hear what we want to hear, we can spiral. We can spiral down, or we can spiral up. And like this guy has he's literally taken his sacred pipe during battle, arrows, bullets flying everywhere. He'd get up and go walk into the middle of this war and sit down and smoke his pipe with no fear. He knew he was going to make it. He was wearing the armor of God. He didn't call himself a Christian, but he knew he was a part of of all that is in the right way, and he knew when he was not going to die. He knew when he was protected, and he could literally taunt his enemies by just going out into the middle between in this battlefield. Real bullets flying back and forth. Anybody real is going to try and take cover. They're going to protect. They're going to, they want these physical shields. This guy had none. But he was cloaked. He was cloaked in the armor of God, so complete they couldn't touch him, and it scared the crap out of these soldiers who are firing everything they have right at this guy, and nothing can touch him. And he was in a sacred zone, praying to all that is right in between them. And when he was done smoking his sacred pipe, he would get back up and just fade back into where his physical, his position of his people, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. I don't know anybody in the physical that has the strength to do that. His pipe was his gun. It was his weapon, but it was a weapon for the Lord. The universe, the cosmic all, and he knew it. And there are people, they before they would go to battle, they had their own death songs, personal death songs. They had their own personal death songs, and they would sing them to not to egg on this death, but to accept it whenever it was meant to be, and to not be afraid. There's no fear. You know, if you've got a death song, if you can sing a death song, you're prepared to live. You're prepared to live with the armor of God on, and you know you'll be protected as long as you're supposed to be. You know, and so these death songs, they put you in the right frame of mind that says, hey, however this goes, that's the way it was supposed to, and I ain't afraid of it. I'm just a feather between the physical and the spirit, and there's a lot to do with that stuff, and that's what we're here for. We're here to bring that in a good way. And I felt a little bit of that this last month. And it put me in a way to where I'm ready for my death song. I'm ready for that song to come to me. Not so that way I can bring it into this material, but so that way I can be grateful for as long as I'm supposed to be here. I mean, I'm already saturated with that. But that song hasn't come to me yet. But at the same time, it's already in me, so it'll come out when it's supposed to. Yes. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here, because these struggles that we do have physically, and when we have to love ourselves, we have to love ourselves in order to create the boundaries. We have to, and those boundaries are the expectations for others. And either everybody comes forward in sacredness, or they can sit down until they can, in a good way.
Mr. Sparkles.
Yes, sir.
Knowing you, you've been working on the armor of God for a long time. And what the doctor said, 2 weeks ago, you shouldn't be here. I know, because you did more than me at that 100 number is a lot higher than what I had, but you shouldn't be here. The watchers told me you should not be here. And that song is in you, and when it's supposed to, it's going to be very powerful. And I'll have a box of these ready too.
It's gonna settle on its own, and it is already in the spirit. It has already in the spirit, and I feel its love. I feel its love.
Your own watchers and helpers were with you too,
and our sacred messenger group that we've pulled together. There were several sacred women in there that were picking up things that they couldn't explain, that were going through them, that were actually going through me. And I think that there were several of them. They didn't know the orientation until I shared it later with the group. But I haven't participated in as many things as of late, because it was just I needed to stew. My spirit needed to stew in its own way. And I haven't been as active as I should have been, but then again, I was as active as I should have been, because I was where I needed to be, and and my sacred crew was behind me, and they had no clue. They just were, and I give thanks. I give thanks to all of them as well as much as everything else, uh, because our we are here to collectivize consciousness for purpose, and we will plan it, and when we're no longer in the physical, it will always be here in the physical. It will always be here in the physical, and we put it there. And even if we can't see our footprints behind us, because we're walking forward, we're always walking forward in this space. Those footprints are behind us, and they're full of love. They're full of everything that we've ever been and done. And the universe remembers us always. And our relations with the universe, there's no boundaries there except the ones we want. So don't have any. You know, this is a direct relation, and every thought, every step is a prayer. And I'm eternally grateful for that. I used to think that prayer was something you had to get into a mode for, but it's something you're just you being physical is the mode, and the universe hears all of it. The universe hears all of it, and I have a tendency of doing that too. During my hospital visit and different things, you talk to people and they share stuff that don't make sense, and you just help fill in a few gaps for them, and the next thing you know, you feel their light brighter by the time you're done, and like there's no trophies. There's no trophies for that. There's no Emmy awards. Spirit gives them to you. Spirit brings it all, and like it'll be what it's supposed to be. And I give thanks for that, because we are serving spirit direct by doing that. There, my reward's already in place as long as I do what I'm supposed to do in the right way, and I help others steer themselves toward their own sacredness, and to include my own family. And if we were taught when we were little that we are sacred, and I can always tell when someone hasn't been told that in their life, and I gotta say it, and it hits them like a ton of bricks, and they start crying immediately. Some of them, and like because they haven't been told that, and they should have been told that their whole life. Because if they had, every decision they made could have been different. It could have worked for them instead of against them. There was a portion of my life where I called everything a curse rather than a blessing, because like it didn't fit in any box that anybody's ever taught me. Nobody can teach me these things except Spirit Direct. And these are the relations, but we all have all those relations, but it is beautiful when a physical person tells you that you are sacred, because most have not heard that. It's something unobtainable. They get taught that they're, the worthiness is this after thing, that this, we'll feel that worth someday. Just keep suffering today. But, the suffering needs to be sacred to present, to prioritize purpose, for the right reasons and the right ways. So I'm grateful for this journey.
Michele, Dane, I want to share just for a minute to the people out there that are listening to this, because from Rev's perspective, it's more than just us meeting and gathering. Like when I created the video yesterday, and I took the time to lay tobacco, to give tobacco, which Uncle Dave taught me a long time ago, for this show, for Michele, for Dana, for all those who'd be here on the live, for all those who'll see it later. Well, the grandsons have been here um, spending the night, and they like to go out. We have several different ways to build fires, and we use the chimenea because it was raining here today and in the 40s. And they asked if they can go out and build a fire. And they got one going, of course, even in the rain. And they know I like to do sacred things around the fire, even when they're messing around and doing their own thing. And I had one of them put tobacco in the fire, you say your prayers, say your prayers. And then I prayed again for you, Michele, Dana, all those who'd be here in the live, all those who'll see this later on down the road, tomorrow, next week, the month, a year, whatever. And those are grounding energies between the earth, Mama Earth and her children, and the sky people, all the directions. And it was very, very powerful doing it with a fire, that's one of my favorite things, is to pray with the fire people. But there's a lot that goes in that we put into these shows, and it's just not preparing and doing this and go over this note and create narratives and all that. It's the love for you, Michele, the love for Dana, and the love for the people that this has been put together. We're almost on a year, aren't we, Michele?
Yeah, we are. I think this is our 9th or 10th show. If we start in January. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all that, Sparkles.
Yeah. Your journey is absolutely amazing. And it's so powerful to share. It's because so often we feel alone in this journey. We feel like, we look outside of us and everybody else feels like they have their act together, right? Everybody's cruising along, handling life, smiling, laughing, looking like they're having fun. And so often in our struggles, we just feel so completely alone. And yet every single person struggles. Every single person goes through those things. And a lot of times, even when they're smiling and laughing and enjoying time with whatever they're doing, it doesn't mean they're not struggling inside. And it's so important that in recognizing that love within, that we love others in that deep places within us, because that's where we connect, and that's where we're not alone anymore. When you love yourself deeply, deeply, you feel that in everyone and everything else. And all of a sudden, you're not alone. Even if they're way over there, you still feel them. And everybody has experienced that feeling when you've had a friend that you spent some time with, and then you haven't seen them for maybe a year or 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And all of a sudden you think about them and they show up. And then you get together, and it's like no time had ever happened. There had been no time and space between you. It was just continued. And that's part of that connection. That's that divine connection that we have with everything and everyone in some way or another, even with places that we go. And I feel that way really deeply with redwood trees, with all trees, but redwood trees really in particular, where it's like they're my family, and so we have it with the things that we think of that are alive, but we don't think of them that way, but they have that spirit within them too, and in the earth, and like what you were talking about, Rev, in the fire and in the air and in the stars and the planets and all the animals and the creepy crawlies, like that darn spider that was on the wall that I was scared to go by because I knew it was going to jump on me and bite me. It was only like this big, but as I contemplated, it got really big and it had giant teeth. And I sat there and I had to go to the restroom so bad. I'm like, please just crawl up the wall so I know you won't jump on me. And it was so funny because all of a sudden it just went to where I couldn't see it. I was like, thank you so much. Don't make me kill you so I don't feel afraid, right? And sit there and honoring that spiritual connection. And I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's everywhere. We communicate with everything everywhere. and with all of you too. You know, we're sitting here and we feel you. And even those of you that haven't even watched this yet, we feel you. You're one of us. We're all connected. Those deep rivers of love. I like when you use the word sky rivers, RevNed. It's that we have that river of love that flows between all of us too. And I always see it as this beautiful, sparkling, golden river. It's like golden light that is so bright, and within it are like ribbons of gold and golden sparkles, and it just flows, and it's so beautiful. And I see and feel that between each and every one of us here. I see and feel it even between the people that will be watching this later, and then between our families and between all of creation. It's just like wow, and creation that's beyond what we even know exists. I was telling
Oh, yeah.
and Rev about I heard about this map thing, the Terra Infinita map. It's by Nos Confunden, and it's this whole thing that shows a map that there's worlds upon worlds upon worlds beyond us. That supposedly there's an ice wall or whatever, and that's part of what my mind like got totally blown by this thing, and I'm realizing, oh my gosh, it's not just our little Earth. It's more. There's civilizations and people and cultures and like like huge. And we're still all connected. It's just I'm getting chills when I say that because it's
Aw,
like so much more when we can open up. It's like oh, and there's no words for it again. It's like it's that great mystery. It's that great mystery. Oh, you guys are so awesome. All of you. Every
thank you.
yeah.
I'd like to make a suggestion real quick.
Yes, sir.
Um,
If it involves ice cream, I'm in.
uh, the universe hears every thought we broadcast, and um, and for anybody out there who is waiting for their own confirmation of sacredness, I'm asking you to ask yourself in the universe simultaneously for that to present itself in the way that you're prepared to see and accept, so you can no longer ignore that truth, because our hearts, they beat for it. Truth was Jesus' sword. Uh, it was his shield. It was everything. Um, and he commanded it everywhere he went. No matter who he was sitting with, no matter and that's why he sat with everybody, um, that was willing to do so. Um, and because we all have our own derivative aspects of perceptions, and every that boundarize, you know what 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 we want to see, what we want to feel, and all these things. But we're ready for the more. We're ready for the more, and I expect the universe to answer each of your requests as it's made, uh, in its own divine way. Um, and you are the one that will, your heart opens that, unlocks it. You know, no, I can tell people they're sacred, but can they accept it? And those that do cry immediately because they do, and they can. And it's like, wow, uh, no one's ever done that to me before. No one's ever said that. And we all, if each of us would have had that earlier in life, this world would have already changed. And sitting down with these larger commercial uh, controllers, so to speak. Hey, you are sacred. You have this authority. You're not using it in an appropriate way, and it's time to sit down until you do, because that's what you're here for. Um, and but we all of us have been on both sides of those fences, on purpose. Universe needed us to be there, so that way we could be the bully and the you know the victim, and the other, the sacred ones, and we can't pull it all together unless we got both sides of that, and that's what we need to do. And I just encourage everybody to ask themselves the right questions, so that way the universe can help reveal what needs to be revealed, uh, with no strings attached, other than authentic love. No puppetry.
Right, no puppetry. I know one thing that I did that I started doing a few months ago when I really began to feel that spirit within, like I've never felt it before. And I've been on this spiritual journey my whole life, like we all have, right? And we kind of increase our frequency, we open our awareness, we're like, wow, I'm there, and I made it, and then it's like, oh wait, there's more. Oh, there we are. Wow, I'm there. I made it. And it's this continual thing. But one of the things when I had another one of those, wow, I'm there, I made it. And I could feel this within. I asked spirit, and I love to use the phrase eternal loving presence. That's kind of my word for God. And I just asked that eternal loving presence within me. Thank you for letting me be able to feel you inside. And now I would like to ask you. And when I was speaking this, I was feeling it within me, but I was feeling it everywhere. And I said, show me how much you love me. Let me experience outside of me how much you love me. Manifest that into my life. And it was not even a day later that I had some wonderful things happen and some wonderful new people come into my life, and like prayers answered, things I've been trying to get moving for years started shifting. And it was asking the question, the right question. Show me how much you love me. And
Yes.
you're really asking yourself, right? Because it's show me how much you love me. And poop, and little things like the owl on the roof. When I was doing this, maybe 5 minutes later, all of a sudden I heard that, whoo, woohoo. It's like, oh my God. And the next morning, tons of crows on my lawn. They were dropping stuff on the roof all day long. Like, hey, we're here. Because it's not coming a great big huge kabam. It's going to be all those little things. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to all of it. And the more you pay attention to it, thank you, Al. Thank you, Crow. Thank you for whatever it is you're dropping on my roof. It sounds like there's dropping tennis shoes. It's like, where are you guys getting boulders? But paying attention. Thank you. Thank you. And it grows and it gets bigger and becomes more meaningful. And then these wonderful people started showing up. It was like, oh my God. And I remember even telling one, it's like, I've been praying for you. It's so cool. You just got to ask the question, show me. Just show me.
For many, many, many years, Rev has taught in the classroom settings and small auditoriums how every breath is sacred, every step is sacred. And some people will say how every moment is sacred. And that's when everything happens. What we talked about 10 minutes ago is gone. The future isn't here. And so many people put their energies there when the mystical things happen in the now.
Right.
Pure love operates in the now. It's just like the boys, the 11-year-olds that have been here with us that started the fire, and they prayed for Dana. They knew Dana was going through stuff, and which makes it even that much more sacred, because he's touched them on when we've just done videos chatting with him, and they'll come in and he talks to them, and he's touched them. He's touched them so much that they honor him at Levin. So it is amazing. And what we can teach, what I'm getting at, what we can share with them at 11 years young, what we can share with them, how precious life is, how precious every breath is. So,
yeah. And it's so important that we do reach the children, and that we do start taking care of the children too. So it's the children kind of fell into the abyss a little bit in the world as it is, and it's so important that we reach them and teach them and talk to them and tell them how important and precious that they are, because I don't hear it in the culture much. So thank you, Dana, for being that voice for them, because they are so cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they are beautiful boys.
Yeah. And if they're watching, look at yay! Angels in the house.
Yeah. What a blessing that is.
Oh my gosh, I just got chills. I just got chills. What a blessing that truly is. Wow. Oh my gosh, Dana, would you be able to sing for us today?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
I'm going to do a gentle thank you song. But first, I'm going to do a little bit of rattling for a little while, because I want to set a stage. I want to just let the rattle separate the things that are no longer sacred and that need to be on the move. So I'm going to pull this thing a little bit forward here. Hopefully it can come through in a good way. Can you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Tonga Shayla Bela Maya Bela Maya Bela Maya We chose Aniwa Maya Kunja Bela Maya Tonga Shayla Bela Maya Bela Maya Bela Maya We chose Aniwa Maya Kunja Bela Tonga Shayla Bela Maya Bela Maya Bela Maya We chose Aniwa Maya Kunja Bela Maya Tonga Shayla Bela Maya Bela Maya
Away chozane wa maya kunja peila maya. Aho, Wopila, thank you. Thank you. We see good health and help. We see good health and help for everybody that hears this, that listens to it. And today and the future, it's in you. Give thanks, give grace. Give grace the space in your heart to step 90 degrees in the right direction that the ancient ones speak of and place on their walls. Aho. Much love.
Oh, thank you. And we just take that and bring it into our hearts and just say thank you on this week that we celebrate Thanksgiving for all things. Let that be your prayer. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being the reason that we do Bridgewalkers. And thank you for the honor of not only your presence here with us today, but on this planet during these sacred times. We are truly are one.
Amen.
We'll see you next time. We'll see you in December, probably around solstice. Hooray! Yay! And until then, stay sparkly.
Much
Bye-bye,
love.
everyone.
Much
Love
love.
you, everybody. Blessings.